Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Becky. Before I get started on what I wanted to share in my research is I wanted to share for people who were curious about my exercising and like my routine. I recommend, it's called the Body Bus. Not the Body Bus, the Body Boss. There we go. Articulate. It's the Ultimate Body. It's a 12-week intense fitness guide, and it also has 4 weeks of pre-training programming. So if you're just getting back on track, then it kind of warms you up into it. The other thing I love about it, it does have multiple books to it, and one of them is a nutrition one that has all kinds of recipes to kind of help partner up with the physical activities. And then you have access online to videos that correspond with the pictures of the exercises that you would do. And the reason I like this is because you don't need gym or you don't need equipment. It's all like body weight and stretching, and that's why I also like the yoga, which is really just glorified stretching that keeps the energy centers cleared. And my biggest thing right now is developing a schedule that allows for consistency, especially when I keep the reality around me keep shifting me to places. So to try to create a routine has been a little difficult. When I had my house with my kids, I had it for 12 years and I had a great routine and I was established like a well-oiled machine. And now that I'm out moving and shaking out in the world, it's a little more difficult to kind of figure that out. So I'm still a work in progress, as we all are. All right, let me give you some more tips on how to help yourself be more aware of your surroundings and the people around you and possible dangers that might be around. So this one is, confident people are quiet. So I'll say a lot of times I just like to observe. When I'm in an environment, I don't need to, I can be the center of attention, I can lead the room, but that's not my preferred role. I prefer to be more like the security guard, and like that's how it was when I was raising kids and working in the school systems and working in the homes. It was like I could feel my protective shield from God that was kind of like always protecting over me, and then whoever was also then with me, so like my children or my sister or whatever, right? So wherever I would go, my shield would then protect whoever I was interacting with. I didn't realize they were also then stealing my blessings from the astral plane and then claiming them as their own. Like I didn't understand that piece of it. I just knew that I provided a safe space, and I could set up the environment. I can create learning containers. I can alter the realities and the perceptions in order to help people process through emotions, process through trauma, process through their pain in a very calm, soothing way. And I get it. I was doing gentle parenting before it was a thing. And honestly, sometimes I think the gentle parenting has gone too far as well. We need these young adults to be prepared for the holy war. And so if you're just coddling kids and you're just giving them lots of candy and taking them to the Disney and you're doing all the fun stuff and they get the cute little squishy toys, that's great, but you are stunting their spiritual growth. So I help people who aren't quite aware of that when it comes to raising children, because it is just so much more than just having a baby to love and take care of. There is a spiritual aspect. That vessel, you are trying to keep it pure, right? There's like spiritual aspects to it, and religion doesn't teach us the right way. So we have a lot of people who look godly who are empty vessels that then demons can use because the world can be deceived. So confident people are quiet. So a lot of times people think I'm dumb, and I just let them think that because I don't care what people think about me. Insecurities are loud. So confidence, on the other hand, is very quiet. Insecure people have the need to say everything so that I sound more believable, so you'll know how much I know and how smart I am. Confident people have the urge to say nothing because they have nothing to prove. God already knows. He sees our hearts. He knows what's in our minds. He knows what we're doing. We are watched 24 hours a day. Whether you believe it or not, you're under watch 24 hours a day. confident people have the urge to say nothing because they have nothing to prove. If you disagree with me on something that I know to be true, I wouldn't be nearly as affected. I would just sit there and go, okay, well, I tried to educate that person. They don't want to hear what I have to say, so I'm going to let it go. I've planted the seed, and now it's going to be later on, once I'm no longer there, that seed's going to start sprouting, and then they'll have to cultivate it and take care of it. So there's no need for me to continue to reinforce, and me force the seed to grow. I just plant the seed and I move on. So let's say if you are like, that's a dumb purple shirt you have on, I'd respond, oh, okay. I don't need to convince you that I already know the color of my shirt. Sorry about that. It's probably more AI generated robocalls, which are so annoying. Okay, back on track. It's like, if you know that about yourself, what you have internally inside you, you don't have the need, the insecurity to prove it to everybody else that they're wrong. The confidence is very quiet. The people that are typically the most looked to are the people that say the least. They listen a whole lot more. And this is where I got myself in trouble with a lot of men with big male egos, especially if they have narcissistic personality types. They do not like women who know how to lead, especially one who knows how to lead quietly, because I'm able to pull magnetically their followers to me, because people aren't stupid. They can see who's the false leader and who is the righteous leader, and I don't need to go around going, oh, praise Jesus, right? Like, I don't have to do that. They just see it in my actions. They see how I treat people. They see how I talk. They see the planning, the heart, the passion, the time, the energy, the devotion that I put into every project. And it's not that I just give up and I walk away. The Holy Spirit says they're using you, they're abusing you, you've done enough, it is finished, let them take over. And I move on. People who steal from me, God says, that's okay, it's going to die in their hands and it'll come back to you anyway. So don't even chase the distraction of trying to defend yourself and get back what's stolen, because in the end, whether it's a year from now, 2 days from now, 10 years from now, karma comes back and scales of justice gets balanced without me ever having to lift a finger, and I just keep moving because I'm here as a creator, and that's what I want to do. That makes me happy, is helping people through creative outlets. So when I'm triggered, what do? Well, sometimes doing nothing is gold. And that's been the hardest lesson for me, because I am an advocate, a strong-willed voice for the voiceless. And I am used to, getting in there and rolling in the mud with the pigs, going, listen, you're not doing this to this family, or you're not doing this to this kid, or you're not doing this to this mom, or you're not doing this to this dad. I'm used to being in that role. And when God says, okay, you have to be in your receptive mode, I'm like, let me have to sit down and be quiet. Okay. So that is not easy for me to do. And I know this is just temporary, because right now God and the angels are cleaning house in order for me to actually continue to elevate and stop people from putting that glass ceiling that I have to keep busting my head through. Like, come on, guys, stop. Just let me have my path and just let me be. The ones that are meant to help me, I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the unsung heroes that do all the cleanup that I don't even know about. God bless you. Seriously, God bless you. Okay. When we are offended, that means you have no governor over you. And a governor is a guard. It's a mouthpiece. And that's what I used to tell my children, to filter their words. I'd be like, watch what you say about mom. You can get mad at mom, but watch what you say about mom, because I didn't want my children to receive that karma. And they didn't, they're little demigods. They don't understand quite yet. And they're like little pterodactyls that are trying to figure all this out. And I've got to be like, no, you still have to be in with divine law. You still have to follow physics and metaphysics, and you still have to use the quantum field properly. You can't just pull in whatever you want, whenever you want it, without consequences. And that is life, right? you have to experience the downfalls in order to pick yourself up. I do believe in the Bible it says fall down 7 times, stand up 8, something like that. And so your 20s up, heck, up into your 40s, it's all like a learning curve. And then once you hit your like 40s and 50s, then you're like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing now. And then of course life's gonna throw you more curveballs and you're gonna go, oh crap, maybe I don't. So that's why I always say you have to learn how to laugh at life, because if you think you know it all, then you still have a lot to learn. Everybody can do anything they want, right? They can do anything they want to you and completely derail you if you allow them. That's why I always say you have to remember that pain does not become part of your personality unless you allow it to. So you must choose carefully, or live carefully and choose wisely, is what I say. Live carefully and choose wisely. Now, another book that I've read is Who Moved My Cheese? That was a really good one. And then The Fish Philosophy was another good one. And I have some more books that I'll give you a little quick video on some other books that I have that you might like. But with Who Moved My Cheese, it talks about being a mouse in a maze, like a labyrinth, and that's really what we are. You know, there are dark entities that are using us as like experiments, and unfortunately, the way the Matrix is set up, we haven't had much control over that other than to learn to just live in it. But now that we have the overturning of the darkness, we are getting to now step forward into expressing our true abilities, our true self, our supernatural selves, without being fear of burned at the stake or hung at, from a tree, or any of that craziness, tortured. And I mean, there's people that still want to do that stuff to me, but because of my spiritual protection, because of God, they can't get to me. Any weapon formed against me shall not prosper. So I have to learn how to keep myself in alignment and my emotions under control, because the only person that I hurt when I get upset is myself, right? And then I'm sending out that hostility into the ethers, which then lowers the vibration of the collective consciousness. So anybody can do anything, but there's a difference between reactive and responsive. And yes, people closest to you know how to trigger the reactive side of you, which is why a lot of times you have to completely individuate from your karmic family. That's usually, the family you grew up in, which is why I say like star seeds sometimes are supposed to be removed as small children. I was supposed to have been removed by the age of 5 and wasn't. And then I was supposed to be removed again at 9 and wasn't. And there were many, many other opportunities where systems had failed me. And my tribe, the systems had failed you too. And you worked the systems trying to get the help, trying to do things the right way, trying to follow God's lead. But the Matrix was designed as an experiment to torture you and eventually either lead you to homicide or suicide or, something catastrophic, so that they can just, study you and laugh or whatever. Reactive is when I am simply a reactionary force to what is being done. That is when I'm in fight or flight. When I know somebody is hunting me, then that's when my fight comes in, or my flight. If I know that I can take that person out, I'm going to fight it. If I know that I can't, then I'm going to fawn. I'm going to fake. I'm going to, I'm just going to play the girl, and I'm just going to get myself out of there as fast as I can. Because believe me, I have had multiple times where I've died and had to come back, and I don't want to keep doing that. And there are seriously psychotic people out there who just want to kill me just because they want to. It's got nothing to do with anything I've ever said or done. Most of them have never even spoken to me. They've just seen me from a distance. I have celebrities who have everything under the sun, all the money, all the fame, the fortune, everything, who have like $1 million hits put on my head because they're jealous of my energy and what I can do. It's like, I'm not trying to steal anybody's man. Believe me, I don't even know why you want that man. Like, that's how like confused I am on what this 3D is doing when it comes to dating and relationships. This is not how God designed it. This is how the devil designed it. And I'm now able to like rewrite the codes. So believe me, we're going to be changing things. My tribe wants change. We're going to have change. So if you're reactionary, you're going to say, she did this to me and I'm going to react. I used to be that way, but it takes an extreme amount of pain before I react. So people would take my stoicism as a challenge to get a reaction. A lot of my students were coming in and out of juvenile detention centers and coming in and out of foster care and mental health facilities. So a lot of them were very angry and they never experienced love. So when I give this unconditional love, but with a military mom edge, like I said before in another video, my duality can be very hard for people because I can go from being soft and loving to military mom, don't you ever do that again. And that people will say, oh, you must be bipolar. No, I am not. I know spiritually that when something is danger, I'm no nonsense. But if it's all cool and everything's all taken care of, then I'm fine. But when there aren't masculine men around, I have to be on hypervigilance, and then I have to step into my masculinity to put people back in line real quick. Because if I don't, they just think that, oh, she's just playing. She doesn't mean it. Believe me, I used to scream. I would start off very nice. Son, will you please do this? Son, will you please do that? Son, will you please do that? Son, I need you to do that. Son, can you please do that? Son, I need you to do that. So it's not a quick flip of a switch. It's a gradual progression. And what I had to learn from lots of counseling, parenting counseling on how to help my children, because I never received proper parenting, and they never received proper parenting. So I have to give grace that they were abused and didn't know better and did the best they could. I was abused, didn't know better, did the best I could. And I tell my kids, as long as we keep moving forward in an upward trajectory with each generation, we're going to be fine. But you have to learn from the lessons behind and not repeat them. And anger has been a huge one throughout my bloodline. And so I'm the one that's supposed to be helping, cure that in the bloodline, because we are here to do God's work, but we've been forced into systems to be used and abused instead of being given our birthright. And I don't know, what generation, how far back that curse, happened on my bloodline. That doesn't matter to me. All I know is I'm here now to clean it up, to get the hate and the anger out. And my body is basically a filter for energies, which is why I get tired. It is not a depression. It is an exhaustion of my cellular structure, because I am a holographic image, a healing vessel that has to filter constantly all the energies that are sent to me. So when I have psychotic stalkers that are constantly sending me energy that I have to then alchemize, transmute, and turn into a creative outlet, but then I'm being bogged down because I can't actually get to connect with people. So I've got all these great tools, I got these books, I've got these resources, I've got these study guides, I got, but now I need to get them in people's hands. And I got too many men who are like, I want her for my wife. She gonna sit at home, she gonna make me dinner, she gonna take care of my baby. No, sir. No, sir. My job is not to be your wife. It is to be God's vessel and a voice for the voiceless. So, sir, please remove yourself from my energy. Thank you very much. And I get tired of doing that, which is why I know people are like, but you say you're going to go and have a movie done. Yes, but that doesn't mean that I have to be the upfront. I don't have to be on that screen getting all of that negative attention. I don't want all that negative attention. Okay? I'd rather be reading a book. I'd rather be doing scholarly work. I would rather be out in the field doing shit. I'm not sitting here to try to be, a Playboy model where people just drool on me and send me money. That is not my goal. That is not my goal. Okay? So, clarification. Obviously, this is a trigger for me. Responsive is that she does something to me, but I'm regulating it. And that's what I've really tried to do. And regulating means crying. It means venting. It means punching a pillow. It means taking a baseball bat and hitting something, not it's going to hurt somebody, but you know what I mean? They have those smash rooms where you can go smash up at old TVs and stuff. Get it out. I like throwing the axes at, like at the axe place where you could throw the axes. And I used to want to learn how to do Chinese throwing stars, and I like going to shoot cowboy shoots. And I take that energy and I just channel it into other creative ways. I wanted to do archery for a while. My son and I did that. There's just different outlets that you can use instead of engaging. It's that that's going on, but what's done behind your back is none of your business. Even though it's happening, it's still none of your business. Let God and let all the other supernatural beings take care of it, and you just stay in alignment with God's called you to do, because you have a following. You have, I hate to say it, you have your own sheep that need you to lead, and so I can help you prepare for that, okay? Or if you're already in that role and you're feeling a little shaky, I can help you re-strengthen that foundation that you have, using God and the Holy Spirit to kind of infuse you, to keep you giving momentum in the right direction. And sometimes that means you're going to pivot, because I might share some wisdom with you and you're going to be like, dang, I really thought I was doing God's work there. And I'll be like, yeah, I've done that too. Good works are dead works. I get it. It happens to the best of us. So there is no judgment, there is no shame, there is no guilt when you're talking with me, because there's no room for that when you're a divine being. Like, these are all lessons that needed to be learned, and now you take those lessons and you share it and you put it out there and say, hey, okay, this is the shortcut. And I want to be able to help you with learning how to regulate before you respond. So I'm going to I'm going to process, and then I'm going to regulate. Next, I'm going to respond. So there's a whole process. So people often think that I'm stupid or dumb or retarded because I don't respond in the moment. And I don't respond in the moment because my initial response is going to be one that won't be productive. It'll be like, why the hell are you doing it? Right? It's going to be an attack. It's going to be a personal character attack. It's going to be insulting. It's going to be demeaning. It won't be productive. So if I have had to learn to shut up and just learn how to let go and let God, which is not easy when you're in the fire with these people and they're pouring more gasoline onto it while you're trying to, put the fire blanket on it, and they're trying to intentionally, because they like the drama, they like the chaos. Like I've said in other videos, some people like to physically fight. It's erotic to them. I do not understand this. Okay, I've had some people ask me to do some very bizarre things to them that to me sounds absolutely horrid. And I'd be like, why are you even asking me this? I don't even know you. Please stop. Okay. The demons are out of control, especially the lust one. That one is probably the one that I'm battling the most against, because that's the one that hurts the children the most. The children could probably handle a lot, but when you are physically, sexually degrading them their whole lives, dehumanizing them constantly, that anger becomes internalized, and that's why we see all these shootings. Okay, and so my whole goal all these years has been help to do spiritual, emotional triage, because every human on this planet has experienced trauma to a significant degree. The difference is some of them never come back from it. And I want to be one of the ones that can reach out and say, hey, no matter what mistake you've made, right? Look at Jesus' disciples. No matter what mistake they made, God still could use them. But you have to use your powers for good and not evil. And I'm sorry, honeys, I'm sorry. We know when you're hunting us, and that is not flirting, that is not sexy, that is not attractive in any way, shape, or form. It's disgusting. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't smell good, taste good, look good. I don't care what your physical appearance is. If you got a six-pack abs, but I know that you're a psychopath who is a serial killer, sorry, I don't care. I'm going to tell you no. Bye-bye. Am I going to poke the bear and trigger you to make you kill me in my sleep? No. But I will alert the authorities and say, hey, I'm not feeling very safe, and this is why. Can you just watch over me? See, I work in partnership with the systems. Even though I know that the systems are not good for us, you still have to live on this planet, right? And so, and especially if you have children, then you have to survive. You have to learn to work with your enemies. And that's just a fact. You have to walk the way Jesus walked. You have to be able, but he never stayed. He kept moving. Okay, they try to keep me trapped in one location so I can't move. And then I'm a sitting duck for all the freaking vultures to come and feed off of me, because physically I am grounded because they've stolen the resources or manipulated situations or paid off this person or whatever. And I have to sit here and go, Lord, would you please handle this for me? Because I know that it's going to get ugly and they're going to blame me, and it's nothing to do with me. It's what they've thrown at me. That's going to go back 10 times, and then I'm going to get blamed for it. So I'm going to stay far, far away from this, Lord. And I need you to be the one who handles it, because I really do love these vessels. And that's the hardest part. It's usually the ones that you love the most that the devil can infiltrate. And then I'll be honest, once you're out of the room or out of the house or out of their life, they're not that way anymore. It's the weirdest thing. Their demons want to come out and attack you because you're holding them to a higher standard by reflecting a divine blueprint, and they know that they're not living up to their own divine blueprint. So they just want that mirror to go away. And then when I go away, then they realize, oh crap, we kind of need that mirror because that's our guidance. And I don't want codependency. I want interdependency. And that means that people have to learn that I am not going to live forever. I am not going to be readily available whenever they need a boost. Yes, I am like God's jumper cables to the heart, right? Like, so I can unblock heart chakras all day long. But people who don't want that, well, they don't take too kindly to me. And then I need my law enforcement, who don't know if I'm good or bad, to watch me and say, look at my track record, okay? Look what I'm doing. Look what they're doing. Look at the harvest that I can create, the way I share, the way I don't, you know, and then I don't want to have to like explain myself, because then I sound crazy. So we want to not get triggered. We want to stay in our divinity. We want to talk less, listen more, even when they think you're retarded and you're stupid, because they don't understand, because they don't have the eyes to see or the ears to hear. And so you have to learn to laugh, because otherwise that pressure cooker inside just wants to burst. And then you gotta be like, okay, can't do that. Because my duality is fire and water. Guess what? You mix fire and water, you get steam. But guess what steam does? It's a power source that can make a train move. See what I'm saying? So people want to keep me either in my fire or keep me in my water, because they don't want me to have steam to make that forward movement. But they don't understand is the Holy Spirit's going to do what the Holy Spirit's going to do, whether people like it or not. People will be removed from my timeline as needed, and they can come back onto my timeline and try again at another time. Because my philosophy is I'm a train station, and some people will get offended by this, but I said, listen, we're all on a crazy train, right? Like Ozzy Osbourne, right? Crazy train. But I'm a train station. And so the crazy trains that can admit that they are crazy trains, that want to do right and want to change and want to learn and want to grow and have access to wisdom, well, they're going to pull into my station, because they're going to be like, she's the truth, the way, and the life. I might not like her, but I can respect her, because I know when I speak to her that it's going to be the whole hard truth. And if I can't handle the truth, then I just need to stay out of the kitchen. I'm not part of her tribe, and I just need to find somebody else who can sugarcoat it a little bit nicer for me, okay? I understand the train wrecks, okay? Because I am one. I've had my crazy train moments where I pulled into other people's stations and said, hey, help. Help, I don't want to bleed all over, buddy. Help me with this. So now it's my turn to be able to be that safe space. I always have been. But you're always helping the people behind you who are still learning the lessons you've already learned. And then you're supposed to be connecting with the people ahead of you who've already gone ahead and have mastered certain things that you're still yet to master. Like me, my family tried to bind up all my supernatural gifts as a toddler. So I'm having to do all these unbindings, just to be in my true energy, my true self, my true nature. And I'm still trying to explore it. Right now, my financial freedom is the last step for me to be able to really get in there and go, what else can my brain do? I mean, I know I'm like a lethal weapon with my brain, because I'm a demon hunter. So I get it. I can clock demons and I know how to maneuver, and then law enforcement knows how to take over after I've spotted them, clocked it, documented it, and then they can then slam dunk it and finish them off, right? I don't ever have to actually get my hands dirty because I'm working with the law enforcement, okay? I'm not a criminal that they're hunting down because I'm doing something wrong. I'm like the undercover for God that's out in the wild, right? Scoping, going, danger, danger. And then some other, like I said, there's guys in suits. I don't care what kind of suits, if it's a SWAT suit, if it's a business suit, there's always guys in suits then that are going to then follow up. And they're not going to just take my word as it is, because that's not what you're supposed to do. They will then look at the receipts, the paper trail I created, all the documents that said, oh, look, embezzlement there. Oh, mishandling of funds there. Oop, abuse of power there. And I don't even have to go in and create a formal report. All I do is and while I'm in that system, spreading truth, 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 truth. So anything doesn't match up to truth, it's like a lie detector test. Now, do the conscious creators that are leading those systems like me in those systems? Heck no, they don't. Why do you think they want me in poverty so then that way I can get unalived? Okay? It's not going to happen, but that's what they want. And they think that if they think it long enough, or if they get enough people to think it long enough, it's going to happen. I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to educate these people. So when you're triggered, we want to be responsive. That means not reactive. The one thing that you can do when you feel those emotions boiling, and the one thing I do is I will pop my headphones in and then I will just look at the person and walk away. Because I'm like, if I say a word right now, it's gonna lead to hands on hands, and I don't want to revert back to that version of me. And I know people are like, oh, she could throw a punch, but she can't take it. Yes, I can. Problem is most of them don't want to get in the ring with me. They get in the ring one time, I knock them in the nose, and then they don't want to get back in the ring with me. I am more than willing to have a conversation, but it is going to be a fair fight. It is not going to be dirty blows. So if you want to have a conversation, then sit down at the table, sir, or madam, and we'll have that conversation. But if you think you're going to do telepathy and you're going to do all this metaphysical stuff and you're going to throw all these obstacles in, like right now, I can't even drive because they're doing crap to my vehicle. They already tried to have somebody do a head-on collision with me a few weeks ago. Like, this is insane. This is the definition of insanity. So instead of allowing it to trigger me, right, I'm doing all this processing and using these videos as tutorials of like, hey, you're going through this, I'm going through this. Let's talk and see, not that I'm saying let's swap war stories, but let's talk strategy. Let's talk battle plan. Let's talk exits. How can we do that safely? How do we get the children safely to where they can actually do God's work and thrive and be themselves and not be afraid of death and dismemberment for being different. All right, so doing absolutely nothing is not easy. Don't text it, don't send it, don't write it, don't call. Do nothing. Step away. And you can do it for a couple of hours. You can do it for 24 hours. You can do it for a week, or you can never respond. And that's the point that I've gotten to. I used to want to have that follow-up question or that session. And so that's why I created my 7 steps to getting on the same page blueprint. The whole reason why I started this was just to get my family on the same page, because they were so traumatized by religion that then they browbeat it into my generation. So I was really forced into the whole Christian mentality, Baptist, Pentecostal, mentality, and shoved down my throat. Then I had my cousin who was shoved down the Muslim, Islam religious route. You know what I mean? I have another relative that she was more into the witch stuff, and so each of us was programmed to have a different religious protocol. I'm so grateful that mine was Jesus, because I used to tell myself, thank God my Simon isn't as bad as Jesus is. And that really helped me get through some of the worst times. Because I'd be like, man, he really took a beating. Like, at least mine's just emotional, and mine's psychological, and mine's, sexual abuse. But okay, damn, half the time, I just numbed out and then whatever, and we just move forward. Like, okay, I can't do anything. I report to police, nothing happened. So, okay, what do you do, right? And then all you can do is create an exit plan and move yourself and your children out of it and get far, far away. And then, your life changes. Too many people stay stuck in that because of that programming. And if I would have stayed married and stuck with that programming, I would have been dead by 30. I had my own burial plot that I bought by 25, because death to us part. Well, hell, I guess he's gonna kill me, so I might as well be prepared, like the good Girl Scout. And I'm like, what? I mean, that's how intense my programming was. Death over dishonor. And now I say that as a mantra to remind me, because the other one that my uncle and my dad and them believed in was loyalty over love. So they would beat us into submission, and think that was helping us and saving us. And again, it's trauma. It is generational. And I learned how to process that the devil was working through vessels near me, around me. They're little, like the home that my uncle lived in, I can't even walk in because it's a portal for demons. I mean, that's the energy in there. Anybody who has high sensitivity wouldn't be able to step inside my uncle's house because of the intense demonic portal that you feel it, you sense it. I mean, literally, I felt someone's hands touching my hip. It freaked me out. There's certain places I can't go. And when people don't understand that I am one with the other side, they just can't comprehend it, and then they turn it into something dark. So I end up having to remove myself often from situations. And so that's why my ancestors said, it is so important for me not to give up on this business, even though I'm healing through these things, being very raw and vulnerable and honest and open here, that I don't normally do this sort of thing. But the reason why is because too many people have false images of me in their head, and they need to know the truth. They need to know the reality. They can't just come and talk to me like I'm, a wisdom keeper, but not knowing all the stuff. And I'm not going into details. I'm just giving you summary, right? Like Cliff Notes. So you understand that when I'm talking to you, that it's not just that I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree and 30 years of experience in the systems and personal experience with this is my calling. This is something that no man, woman, or child is going to interfere with. And I need people to understand that I will never put anybody or anything over God. I will not create false idols. I know that it was very hard for me to break away from my children and my grandchildren. And right now, all I want to do is just sit there and cuddle my grandkids, right? Because we know things are not good and it's got to get worse before it can get better. So believe me, I just want to sit there and cuddle, but my family needs me to be standing true in my mission. And God said, you can't even put your grandkids before me. You can't put money before me. You can't put fame before me, fortune before. None of that has anything to do with why I'm creating these videos. I'm actually creating these videos because I do fear for my life. I'm not a fearful person, but being a sitting duck, being forced to sit in the same spot for too long, I know God's trying to show me to have more faith in humanity. About 49 years of betrayal. God's like, just sit still, rest, try to create, try to be happy, try to find joy, because the divine masculines are going to start helping you instead of trying to hurt you. And so I want to be able to continue to be a guiding light for those lost souls who are either torn by religion or torn by family and traditions and culture and are like, none of this makes sense to me and I need some guidance. And there's not a lot of truth tellers out there these days. So I hope that I hear from you. You can go ahead and reach out at homeinsockonsulting@gmail.com for a free consultation. We could talk about your situation and how I can help. And if I can't help, maybe I can lead you in the right direction to some local resources that could help you out. Because really all I can do is offer you some very, very, very hard-earned, invaluable, priceless wisdom. And that does come at a cost. So I know people are like, oh, you shouldn't be charging. Well, right now, the powers that be have all my money tied up, and I do need water. I need food. I need some nutrients. And so that requires me to charge for my wisdom, my services. And if you look really biblically at it, that is my birthright. I should have never had to work for my birthright. I should have never had to be in the systems. But coulda, woulda, shouldas, I am just like everybody else. So there are always people that have it worse than us, and there are always people that have it better than us. And we are just on a sliding scale within society. And I have watched too many people that work their way up just to crash back down, to work their way back up, to crash back down. And I follow that same model. So I'm not afraid to fall. I'm not afraid to take risks. I'm not afraid to fly either. So with that, I will go ahead and end this message and say thank you again for being here and listening. And I look forward to talking with you in the next video. Have a great day.